Today, we take a look inside of the world of online beer reviewers. There are countless beer review channels. Today, we sit down and talk to a few of them in this documentary exploring the world of online beer reviewers. So sit back, grab a cold one, and here we go. To start off, who are you?
My name is Don, short for Mary, and my YouTube channel is called Don's Beer Reviews.
My name is David Lightsey, and my YouTube channel is Dave's TV.
My name's Trevor. I'm a beer reviewer.
And I'm Matt, and we are the host of Legit Brew Reviews.
Hi, my name is Wayne, and I am from Wayne's Beer Delivery on YouTube.
I'm Brian the Beer Snob. My YouTube channel is Brian the Beer Snob.
What made you want to review beer online?
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't. In 2020, I was, with the pandemic, I drink beer. I like drinking beer.
That is a very interesting question. Been trying to answer that myself sometime.
Sort of, we took it up as sort of a hobby. I mean, you and I both like beer. I mean, that's just part of it.
My wife said we just got 3 new pets, a cat, a dog, and a tortoise. Yeah, a tortoise. And she wanted to film them growing up together. They were little tiny things at the time, and I'd ask her every week, are you gonna film? She'd say no. Next week, are you gonna film? She'd say no. So after like the 4th time I asked her, she snapped at me. And I said, you know what? They're already half grown anyway because you took too long. So I'm going to start doing a review. She said, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know, but get out of the basement. I'm going to start filming. I had beer in the fridge, so I reviewed beer.
Well, I knew nothing about beer, basically, and I wanted to learn. I used to see people on review sites, Beer Advocate, etc., describing the beers, and I had no clue what they were talking about. So I thought, I want to get more out of my beers. So I thought, what better way to start from scratch? And I decided to set up my YouTube channel.
What kind of got me into doing beer reviews, start of it, or actually getting into the craft beer scene, let's go there first, is my brother-in-law Scott. He is always asking me, why are you drinking this light beer with all these other beers out here that breweries make and just different companies make. So I started trying them out a little bit, and I would say the one who really got me going to do beer reviews is Brian the Beer Snob. I've known Brian since he was in high school. We grew up in the same town together. We joined the same branch of service together, and we communicated back and forth, and I saw he was doing beer reviews, and I was like, man, that looks fun.
With all the shutdowns and everything going on, I made a conscious effort to try to support my local breweries in South Carolina and North Carolina. And one day I had posted a picture on my personal Facebook of this can of fishing beer, which is a local brewery here, Brewery 85, it's their Hell's Lager. And my cousin in Texas saw the picture and said, hey, that looks interesting. Would you be interested in doing a beer trade? So I picked a few beers from here. He sent me a few beers from Texas. So I figured the best way to give him my thoughts on the beer from Texas was to take a short video and send it to him in Facebook Messenger.
And we were doing this before we even started the show. I mean, we've been doing this for, almost 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 years.
Yeah, because initially it had started out that we were doing the show without doing the show.
Yeah.
In my kitchen, like we would get some beer,
build a 6-pack usually.
Yeah, build a 6-pack at anywhere where they give you the option to build your own 6-pack, and from there we would unofficially review the beer in the kitchen. What do you feel is the biggest challenge personally with making or maintaining a beer review channel or making beer review videos?
So the biggest challenge for me is to make each video better than the last video. I don't want any of my videos to look the same, and I know I fall into a slump where I have videos that kind of look the same.
I would say the challenges that we face often come in a number of different things. Sometimes we're challenged with what beer we're gonna drink. We've said time and time again, if you watch the show, our availability in the beginning was very limited. It's gotten better.
Keeping on top of it, I think you have to have a routine, a schedule. I try and record at least one video every day. I try to edit one video every day. And it's keeping on top of your fellow beer reviewers. Try to keep up with them, as in watching their channels, because it's a give and take. You have to watch other people's channels and get involved in that community. You can't just sit back and expect people to come to you. You have to go out there, put yourself out there, and engage with people.
I think the biggest thing is keeping beer in stock that you've never tried before. The problem I have in my county, we have ABC liquor store and we have our grocery stores that sell, but you don't see the craft beers that are all over the United States.
Very similar. I don't like that. I want mine all to look different. So when you go to my page and pull up my videos and look at my thumbnails, I don't want you to see a bunch of the same thing. I want you to see something completely different on every thumbnail.
Well, for me, the biggest challenge is finding the time. Working a full-time job, having a family, and doing YouTube, and having time to do other things. It's interesting. However, the biggest challenge to me is finding beers that are interesting to me and would also be interesting to those out there in the public.
What made you start drinking beer?
Man, my beer drinking goes way back, and unfortunately, it kind of started when I was in high school. Statute of limitations is out now, so all you police officers out there, you can't get me. Just being a typical teenager back in high school in the mid to late 80s, and then the Marines really got to me liking beer.
I started drinking beer probably when I was 16 in pubs, because in Scotland the culture is based around drinking. Every social occasion revolves around drink. Christenings, weddings, funerals, you name it, it's drink. That is the culture. Everybody, well, in my peer group, went to pubs as soon as you could get served. Luckily, I looked a bit older than I was. I had a moustache at 5-year-old.
I can recall being maybe 7, 8 years old, and my dad I think he was sipping like Michelob. Back then, that was his drink. And he was like, come here. And he let me try a sip of it, and I hated it. And he was like, yeah, that's why you never want to drink beer. It's sort of an odd way of like teaching somebody.
Back when I was a kid, as you can see the sign behind here, the PBR sign, Pabst Blue Ribbon beer was the beer that my dad drank. And they also sponsored a lot of racing endeavors, drag racing, a couple things. So I always thought that was cool. The PBR man was cool.
My Uncle Mike, he used to give me sips of his Budweiser when I was young, just to watch me make a face and stuff, as people do. Got older, still hated it. I was the guy when I was going out with friends that was, paying for expensive mixed drinks when everybody else that drank beer was drinking free all night. When I was living in Florida, me and some friends of mine had gone to a bowling alley, and they were offering 50-cent beers. And they were putting the beer in these little plastic cups that I don't even know what size this is. It was like a little bit bigger than a shot glass.
6 ounce?
Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I'm terrible with numbers. But to this day, I don't officially know what it was, but it was frothy, it was cold, it tasted good.
Well, like everybody else, started drinking it in high school just so you get the liquid courage to talk to the ladies. Isn't that why we all did it? But back then, it was all about light beer. Everybody drank light beer. And I drank that for decades. Till I finally realized there's more out there than light beer. It was my anniversary one year. My wife bought me a Mr. Beer kit so I could start brewing my own beer at home. I brewed everything they had. When I brewed a batch of stouts, I tasted it and thought it was the most awful thing on the planet. But I wasn't raised to waste food. I had 2 gallons of it. It took me a long time to drink 2 gallons of something I didn't like, but halfway through it, my taste buds woke up. And I realized I do like this flavor, and there's more out there to beer than just light beer. And that set me off on not drinking quantity, but drinking quality beers.
What is your preferred or favorite type or style of beer? Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
One of my favorite styles of beer is an IPA, an India Pale Ale. I just like the bitterness about them. I like the flavor. I'm from Florida, so I'm used to citrus, I'm used to grapefruit, and a lot of IPAs smell and kind of taste like a grapefruit to me. Some of them are different, not all of them, but I would say an IPA.
I'm a porter and a stout guy. Like I said, I drank decades I drank light beer. And once I found the dark side, porters and stouts are my absolute favorite. Now, my absolute favorite is a peanut butter chocolate stout or a peanut butter chocolate porter. They're both equally delicious. I love them both.
Either like an amber ale, a red ale, or a good Helles lager. Just a good, full-bodied, traditional style beer.
I love stouts and porters. So I would probably say that's my number one. But I have discovered a lot of blonde beers, like especially Belgian blondes or Trappist or Abbey beers. And I'm thinking, I'm beginning to like those more, prefer those over stouts and porters. Depends on the beer.
The porters and the stouts are starting to grow on me. That's probably my second favorite style of beer.
We like lots of styles, so it's hard to have a favorite in the world of beer. It really is, especially when you do like many different styles.
I'm a sucker for ales and lagers.
Yeah, I like brown ales. I'm a big fan of brown ales.
Oh yeah, the nut brown ales.
I love a brown ale, a good brown ale.
Yeah.
And I do like the stouts and the porters, even though that's not my preferred sessioner. I do like the darker beers now, surprisingly. If you had to only drink one beer for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Well, one of the best beers I've ever tasted is a Belgian beer called Saint-Foulian. Pronunciation's terrible. It's a blonde Abbey beer. I think it's an Abbey beer. And it is divine. It tastes absolutely beautiful. And it's quite strong at 7%, but it's well hidden, so you could drink. So if I only had the choice of one beer, that was it.
You know, if you ask me that over the course of a year 4 different times, I'm probably going to give you 4 different answers. I would say right at the moment, if I had to pick one beer to drink the rest of my life, and that would be it, it would actually probably be this one. I don't drink it enough, but a good Helles lager.
I do love the stouts, I do love the porters, I love the peanut butter chocolate porters and stouts. But to be honest, if I had to drink one beer for the rest of my life, it would probably be an IPA, only because IPAs, to me, smell like summer, they taste like summer, and I'm a summer tropical kind of guy.
Man, That is a very, very difficult question. Man, that is a difficult question. Whoever wrote that question, wow. Man, whoever.
It's a tough one. They knew their answer, Yuengling.
Okay, and that's just the lager?
Yep, Yuengling's lager. That would have to be it for me. I think at Yuengling's lager, it touches all the right naughty spots for me.
It's a three-way tie for me. It's going to be Budweiser, and that's regular Budweiser, Bud Heavy. The next one is going to be the Yuengling Lager, because I do also really like that. And the third one is going to be Guinness Draft.
I'm going to say IPA. The reason is I love the taste of what an IPA brings to the table. Now, different IPAs, they're different, but I really love the India Pale Ales. I love the flavor of them. I love the bitterness of them. And I know a lot of folks are like, man, I can't stand a bitter beer, but I like them. But everybody's different. I mean, I think that would be the one that I would really like to drink. Especially I live in Florida, and to me, IPAs are like a summertime hot weather beer. And it stays hot probably 85 to 90% of the time. And it's like fall, and it's like 90 degrees outside right now. But it's Florida, so. But that would be the best. If I had to drink it the rest of my life, that would be the one I drink, IPA.